So I know like absolutely no one asked for this, but I shall show you my marker collection. Mostly copics, but I do have some others, and some others somewhere else that I don't know where they ended up. But here's my copics in the actual box. I used to have the chows in a box, or however you pronounce them, I forget. But I did, like, it broke. These things break super easily. I'm not too happy with, like, how the containers are and whatnot with copics, because, like, you just put them in your bag and they break. Like, they crack and all that crap, and I think they really should use better plastic for something so expensive. But, yeah, these are the anniversary ones. I recently got these at, like, $200. Which is actually cheap for these anymore, because they're really hard to get anymore without being like 400. Of course, there are some dried out, but I always can get refills for them and everything eventually. Yeah, so these are all the colors, and as you can see with the anniversary ones, they had the fine tip nips on them, which is really cool. I mean, like, the originals have fine tip, but they also have chisel tip, and I'm not really a huge fan of chisel tip, so these were like the perfect set for me, even though it cost like a lot for just 60 or 36, sorry, not 60. And here is the set B. I also used to have the set E container, but once again they broke because I carry these around a lot, so they easily break. I know I really should get like an actual container, like one of those like soft ones eventually, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, those are the ones in the container still. And then, as I said, I had the set E, which is most of these, right in front here. That was probably mostly from the set E set. And then, like, some extras and whatnot eventually. And then there's, of course, I had to put some in there. There's the originals. I don't have too many of the originals. But I also have the chows, or however you pronounce them. I'm really bad at pronouncing things. And that was, I forget which set that was out of the chows, but it was one of the 72 packs. And then, as I said, I have other markers than just copics. These are alcohol-based. They're Touch 5 markers. They're not too bad, honestly. I'm just really used to using a lot of copic markers and stuff. Oh, yeah, and there's some extras that aren't. I used to have Prismacolor ones, but I'm not exactly sure where they went, or I think they actually just all dried out, and sadly enough, they are not refillable. That's one thing I don't like about Prismas. And they're also very highly saturated. Like, they bleed easily. Not saying that Copics don't, but it's easier to use them in my opinion. So yeah, that's about how many markers I own currently, which is quite a lot. But I've been like collecting them since like 5 years ago, I think, when I was 15. And don't get me wrong, I love my copics, but you also have to know what you are doing with them to be able to produce good quality artwork. I mean, my artwork isn't the best quality, but I've definitely learned a lot over the years with using them. At first, I hated copics, like, with a burning passion. Like, I absolutely hated them because I didn't know how to use them. I was really hard on everything. Like, I'd press down. I'd break my pencil tips all the time, and I'd gouge through the paper. That's how bad I was. So, basically, I was killing my markers while using them, and I was frustrated because why didn't they look nice and smooth? Because I was using them really badly. So it does take practice to be able to use them and actually, like, for their full capacity. Well, I haven't exactly achieved that yet, because I still have a while to go practicing and everything. I've definitely gone, like, far with them, and I love them. They're expensive, though, so if you're not used to using markers, I would recommend something like Touch 5 or something of the cheaper alcohol markers if you're starting. I don't know where they all went, but I had some of the Spectrum Noir, and those lay down pretty darn nicely, and they're only like $7, I think, for like 6-pack? No, was it an 8-pack? I forget. But they weren't too bad comparing to Copics, where a 6-pack is like $50 in freaking Michaels. which is a lot of money, and these are like 300 plus normally for the 72 packs. So they're very expensive, so if you're not used to using alcohol markers, I would recommend starting on something cheaper, because you don't want to waste something that's that expensive. Now, positive things about copics is they are refillable. However, the refills still cost about $10. However, they do last quite long. I think you're supposed to get like 7 uses out of them. 7 to 10 uses. I mean, I typically get more use out of them, but it all depends on the artist and how much you use them. So, yeah. Yay. Kind of copic review and showing off my markers. Whoop.